So anyway, Jean. Private Jean Stewart was a medic in World War II. She served in the Army Medical Corps in the Pacific mostly on a hospital ship known as the RNZMC. I think it might have been an Australian ship. Not too sure. Anyway, the ship that she served on, over 18,000 young men and women of both Allied forces, but as well as that, the enemy forces, received treatment on this vessel. And for a large portion of them, if they were young men, I'm pretty sure they all would have known the nurses after a while, and Private Jean Stewart was a very attractive woman in her day. I've seen photographs of her when she was serving, and if I was a wounded boy and I was waking up on a bunk in a hospital ship, well, I would be really feel myself very lucky to be cared for by such a beautiful Valkyrie. So I had to make something that represented the appreciation that I had for Private Stewart, but as well as that, something that I also thought would get the approval of the 18,000 soldiers that actually received care from her. And so what I came up with was this rubbing stone thing here, and the whole purpose of it was so that it could provide children a way to understand who she was, what the role of a medic was, what the role of a soldier was, and just how it is. So if we look at it, this is something. Each one of these images is small enough to put on a kid's exercise book, like a 6 or 7-year-old's exercise book. And I've seen kids already use it, but with colouring in pencils and crayons and just making these really cool, awesome coloured images. But anyway, the first image is an image of Jean as a nurse. Of course, a soldier on century, that needs no introduction. The text implies that says that Jean was a medic, that she helped our soldiers, but she couldn't help them all. So there is an element of loss of war, as we all are sadly familiar with. And what this image of a gull represents is an angel. Our indigenous people, or what's known as the Māori people, are very spiritual people, and so as our New Zealand brethren leave they leave to go back to Hawaii in their spiritual state, as I'm led to believe, and they travel up the country to Cape Reinga and leave the country from there. So this is a representation of our Māori people paying their respects to those departing spirits. And of course, the classic monument of the silent gun, what the soldiers left behind. So that is basically 5 little images that kids can write a little story about in their books. But on top of that, we have the silver fern, and if you've seen my earlier movie, you may remember what I had to say about the silver fern. Up here is her name and rank and corps, and this badge here was the last badge that I wore as a serviceman, and that was in the New Zealand Army Engineers. Private Jean Stewart, rest in peace. Beautiful, beautiful woman. I made this because I have been concerned with advocating for fathers' rights, and it is such an emotive topic that one needs to be pragmatic. If you were to totally devote yourself to concentrating on the negative without complementing it with a positive, it would be very easy to be drawn into a very dark and twisted place. So every piece of artwork that I made that represented the anger and frustration that as a man you feel about being administrative out of your children's lives, I also had to make another piece of artwork that celebrated the beauty of our female companions, and that's just one of them. Have a nice day.